and see what we
Warm
can do
welcome
help make
to
that
all of you who are here with us today. I'm delighted to be here with all of you and with the President of Democratic Republic of Congo, President Tshisekedi. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of His Excellency King Philip of the Belgians, Chairman and Founder of the World Economic Forum, Professor Klaus Schwab, Joseph Sikela, EU Commissioner for International Partnerships, as well as former US Secretary of State, John Kerry. In a short while, the President is going to share with us a success story and a bold dream. The success story of the Virunga National Park and the Virunga Alliance that was created 12 years ago in 2013. And the dream of how, building on the success of the Virunga Alliance and the Virunga National Park, he will lead the development of a new economy for Congo. One that unites Kivu in the east to Kinshasa in the west. One that is an economy based on regeneration and not exploitation. And one where planet, people, peace, and prosperity coexist. Before I invite President on stage, allow me to invite all of you to watch a short video. Thank you.
La clé du développement, c'est l'électricité. C'est magnifique. On passe de l'obscurité à la lumière et cette lumière transforme la vie des gens. Il y a à Goma plus de 2500 entreprises qui ont pu se créer grâce à l'électricité.
Je suis en train de scolariser mes enfants, je suis en train de construire ma maison. Et je pense bien que tout ira.
Kupeleka kule, me hapa tunakuwaka na bei, tunakuwaka mzuri. Asante na mimi nashukuru.
Virunga, c'est la clé du développement dans la province du Nord Kivu, mais pourquoi pas dans tout le Congo.
Des petites choses, on va progressivement vers les grandes choses.
Cette vision, ça crée de l'emploi. Ça crée de l'emploi ici.
Virunga m'a donné une autre image, un autre espoir de la vie et de l'avenir. C'est ma maison, c'est dans mon sens.
Effectivement, cela puisse être étendu ailleurs et je pense que c'est bien pour le pays également. Donc c'est vraiment positif.
President, may I invite you to join me on stage to share your success story and your bold dream. President, would you like to share with us your reflections and your dream?
Monsieur le Président du Forum.
Mr. Chairman of the World Economic Forum, ladies and gentlemen, heads of state and government, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am particularly pleased to be able to speak to you today at the World Economic Forum, a space dedicated to resolving the most crucial challenge of our time. When I spoke at COP26 in Glasgow in 2021, I defended the idea that the Democratic Republic of Congo could be a solution country, a nation endowed with not only an exceptional wealth of natural resources, but also with a unique capacity to meet climate challenges through innovative and sustainable practices. Today, I'm proud to share with you a concrete response to this vision, the launch of the world's largest tropical forest reserve. This historic, unprecedented initiative will transform not only our natural landscapes, but also the livelihoods of millions of our citizens. This extraordinary community reserve will stretch over 2,400 kilometers, linking the Virunga National Park at the far east of the country, the vast forests of Ituri and the Congo River from Kisangani to Kinshasa. This project aims to protect some of the most intact tropical forests on the planet while preserving extraordinary biodiversity, including some iconic species, including the well-known mountain gorillas, the unique okapi, and many other plants, animals that are very unique to the Congo basin. But this initiative goes far beyond simple environmental preservation. It represents a comprehensive strategy to revitalize our economy, strengthen our communities, and promote lasting peace in our eastern provinces that have long been affected by armed conflicts and instability. This project will directly improve the lives of over 31 million people. It will protect nearly 108,000 square kilometers of pristine forest, and it will create over 500,000 jobs, including at least 20,000 specifically for young men and women who've been demobilized from armed groups. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Congo Basin, a priceless nature treasure, abounds in majestic forests and absolutely exceptional biodiversity. Its potential for renewable energy and sustainable development is immense, and we are firmly committed to realizing it thanks to solar, hydroelectric, and wind power technologies. We aim to significantly reduce our CO2 footprint while transforming our economic paradigm. By harnessing the power of our rivers and the abundance of sunshine that baths our land, we will build a sustainable energy infrastructure capable of powering our communities and industries without ever harming our environment. Our agricultural transformation, which is at the heart of this vision, aims to harness our fertile land to ensure food security for our people. by replacing illicit activities with sustainable agricultural and mineral sustainable value chains, we will build an economy that respects both people and nature. Now, this is a fundamental right and a pragmatic solution to eradicating the illegal revenues that finance conflict in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, where 3 decades of war have cost the lives of more than 6 million of our fellow citizens. This local tragedy is a global threat. If we fail to protect these forests, the future of the planet will be compromised. This is why we need to reinvent the way we create and build peace. By adopting solutions based on nature and the principles of equality and social justice, we have the opportunity to create economic interdependence between the East and West of our country. This new social order for Central Africa is anchored in the act passed by our Parliament in 2024 to create this great reserve, which is a true Treaty of Westphalia for the region. This transition represents both a challenge but also an opportunity, which we are determined to seize. However, we need strong and equitable partnerships on an international scale. Cooperation must not take the form of handouts, but it needs to be based on true strategic, sustainable collaboration. So I would like to thank the European Union for its ongoing support to the Virunga Alliance, which is an initiative which for almost 40 years has generated clean electricity and created 21,000 jobs through agro-industry. This success story inspires us to develop the Kivu-Kinshasa Green Corridor. I would like to thank Professor Yunus, who's not with us right now, but whom I saw this morning, and as well as the Schmidt Foundation for their support of the Grameen Virunga Microfinance Program, which is helping our young entrepreneurs thrive. These initiatives illustrate how, by providing Congolese communities with access to energy and financial services, we can transform the Kivus into a breadbasket for Central Africa, solving food insecurity, while reducing extreme poverty. To make this vision a reality, we focus on innovative transportation solutions powered by a biofuel and hydrogen. These infrastructures will connect farmers to markets. It will enable over 1 million tons of food to be transported to Kinshasa, soon to be home to 20 million people. This community reserve in the Kivu-Kinshasa Green Corridor is a model of transparency, of governance, and fair competition in a region in search of clean development. By developing renewable energy, agribusiness, and sustainable transport systems, we are creating inclusive economic growth that benefits everyone, one that will leave no one behind. When we formalized our 1T commitments at the World Economic Forum, we laid the foundations of an ambitious project and invited the private sector to commit. Together, we will now turn this vision into reality. Ladies and gentlemen, the creation of this corridor is not just a large-scale project. It is a genuine opportunity for transformation, integrated transformation. It will allow us to create over 500,000 jobs, a significant proportion of which will be dedicated to reintegrating demobilized young people who were with armed groups. Providing dignified work, encouraging community development are essential to building lasting peace. Stable employment, therefore, becomes the very foundation of social cohesion, fostering resilient communities and reducing the attractiveness of violence. Furthermore, the corridor also redefines the way we do business, placing sustainability and good practices as well as community well-being at the heart of our economy. So this is a call for strong, equitable business partnerships. It is not just a request for aid or unproductive donations. Our ambition today is to build a modern, green industry which is respectful of our exceptional natural wealth. We know that this vision cannot be realized without investing in education and training. These programs will prepare our young people to take a more active part in the green economy, breaking cycles of both conflict and poverty, while inspiring a new era of both hope, entrepreneurship, and empowerment. DRC is on the way to becoming a global model, proving that economic prosperity and environmental protection can go hand in hand. By prioritizing sustainable practices, we're opening a new path that can hopefully inspire other nations, demonstrating that conservation is an essential driver of robust and sustainable development. Together, governments, private and public organizations have a unique opportunity to build a future where the Democratic Republic of Congo, as the guardian of its forests, embodies a beacon of hope and innovation for the entire world. So please join us in this historical project, which is unprecedented, so that this corridor marks the beginning of a true new era of partnership and sustainability. Many thanks.
Thank you, President.
Yeah, you're welcome.
May I now invite EU Commissioner for International Partnerships, Mr. Sikela, to join us on stage to share some remarks.
Yes. Excuse me.
No, President? Yeah.
Ah, OK. Ça va.
Your Majesty, Your Excellency, President Tshisekedi, Honorable Secretary Kerry, Honorable Dr. Schwab, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, there are hundreds of thousands and millions of reasons why it is good and why we should invest in the green corridor connecting the Kivu and Kinshasa. 100, as we celebrate this year Virunga's National Park centenary. 10,000 as the unique species populating in Congo basin, and 1/3 of which is to be found only on this place, on this planet. 1.5 million as tons of the oxygen dioxide the forest in the Congo basin is able to absorb every year. And over 100 million people living in Democratic Republic of Congo, for whom the Congo basin provides their livelihoods. For all these reasons, the launch of the Green Corridor is important. For all these reasons, we embrace it as a flagship project of our global gateway development strategy that further strengthens the comprehensive European Union Democratic Republic of Congo partnership, which has at its heart the sustainable governance of natural resources and human development. The EU and its member states working together as Team Europe are already mobilizing investments and projects worth €1 billion along the corridor. And I am happy to announce that we have decided to mobilize now, very fast, in the short term, an extra €42 million grant funding, which we are ready to double very fast, to boost sustainable agriculture value chain, to use the renewable energy and fuels, and to protect this iconic biodiversity along the Green Corridor. And we are working to scale up further commitments, including from the private sector. Excellency, Mr. President, your decision creates the largest protected tropical forest reserve on Earth, connecting the Virunga, Yangambi, and Salonga protected areas. The Green Corridor will deploy a multimodal transport system, including hydrogen-powered boats, to boost trade and food security, empower local communities, and become a powerful driver for peace and stability, creating a powerful positive link between the West and the East of your magnificent country. The Green Corridor is a unique undertaking to implement innovative solutions that simultaneously ensure the conservation of natural resources and bring economic prosperity to the region. As already mentioned, 40 years ago, the EU enthusiastically started to put its support behind Virunga Park. Today, we are rewarded with this fantastic initiative put forward by the President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, and we stand ready to double down and spearhead the Green Corridor together with our Congolese partners. In the spirit of Davos, I call all participants, and in particular the private sector representative present, to raise their commitments too. As a former banker, I was always, by my decision, asked to respond to questions. Is it legal? And is it profitable? And I was always trying to respond also the third question. Is it the right thing to do? And here we do not have doubts, because the outcomes we will not measure not only in dollars and euros, but in improving the lives of people. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Scaler, for your support and generosity. If I may now invite Secretary of State John Kerry, you've been a very strong supporter of Congo to protect its peatlands and also to provide livelihoods for the Congolese people. Could you just share some remarks as well? Thank you.
Mr. President. Thank you very, very much. Mr. President Tshisekedi, Your Majesty, thank you. Where is Professor Klaus? Thank you very much for your leadership also. I will share with all of you, excuse me, and Commissioner, excuse me, thank you for those great comments and for your participation. So I am appearing for the first time in years at the at the annual meeting here in Davos, not as an official speaking for my government, but as a private citizen and a private sector individual who has worked with the president and with others for many years on this notion of what could be achieved by focusing on the Congo basin. Sadly, I think all of you know this and feel it, we're behind in this great battle. And it is a great battle because the stakes could not be higher, and we see every day, somewhere in the world, the impacts of the climate crisis growing. On the other hand, on the other side of that, we have a remarkable opportunity if we will just act like the intelligent human beings who were given brains and have the ability to improvise, to be creative, to be entrepreneurs, and to make things happen. So it's up to us. The great challenge that we face is that the world is still stuck, more than it should be at this point, on the burning of fossil fuel. Now, if that fossil fuel burning can produce emissions that can be captured, we win. But we don't know yet whether that can happen at a rate that can be brought to scale and at a price that enables it to be brought to scale and therefore proceed as we have previously. That's the challenge for all of us. Dubai presented the world with a new choice, where almost 200 nations came together and issued a new mission definition after Paris and Glasgow and Sharm el-Sheikh and now after Dubai. And that new mission was that we must, because of what it is doing, we must transition away from fossil fuel. Even fossil fuel producing countries signed on to this understanding of the new mission. And that we would do so in a way that allowed us to meet our goal of net zero 2050, that we would accelerate in this decade and do so according to the science, which means keeping the Earth's temperature increased to 1.5 degrees. Sounds great, but that's not what the world is doing. Now, many things are happening, remarkable things, and I've seen a whole world of technology that I didn't see every day as Secretary of State or as climate envoy, but things are happening, exciting things with batteries, with new cement, green cement, partly fostered by the World Economic Forum that joined in on putting together the First Movers Coalition, where countries are now moving and individual corporations moving to seize the future and to define it. That's what's happening here. I will tell you without any bashfulness or reservation, this is one of the strongest and most exciting proposals that I've been privileged to be part of in the years that I have come to the World Economic Forum. This is big. This is a huge idea. And it depends on the best of private sector, public sector cooperation, and of particularly the private sector understanding that in this kind of project, there is the ability to not only do well, but to do good. This has, as we met earlier today with President Tshisekedi, and he described very adequately as well as excitedly the prospects of what this brings. We all know there's been fighting in the east, north. And I saw that fighting to some degree when I visited a number of times to the DRC and also to Rwanda. And we saw how the troubles continue because people are given the alternative of fighting rather than of building something as exciting as this kind of project. We have the power, we have the opportunity to change history and also to help win this battle that, like it or not, we are all engaged in. So the Congo Basin now stands alone. And many of us have lived through witnessing the Amazon continue to be shredded away for bad practices about cattle or logging. all of which could be different and hopefully will be as we go to Brazil for the next meeting. But we also know what's happened in Indonesia and other parts of the world. I flew over Cambodia at low level in a helicopter and saw clear cut after clear cut after clear cut, much of it, most of it, illegal. And we've even worked trying to get certain countries, one country in particular that is the largest consumer of illegal logging, to stop. We've talked even to the brokers who know that some of the logging they're selling is illegal. So there's a whole food chain here that we need to try to address. So I would just say to everybody, look, the Virunga model is living proof of what can be achieved when governments and private individuals come together in order to provide funding and make the difference. Honestly, when I went the first time to the DRC and saw that incredible, large, remarkably powerful river just flowing, you just felt the energy that is there to be harnessed to change lives. This is a way to pull people away from the violence, to give young people an alternative, to find jobs that will be produced, and hugely important in the context of where we are today, to provide a monumental sink, a consumer of carbon that will help us meet our goals and embrace the future that we all want. So I intend, from the private sector position that I now have, to continue to work with our colleagues to help make this a success. There's nothing worse than announcing something big and 5 years later, nothing has happened. We have to all agree that is not going to be what happens here. We're going to make this happen. We're going to use all of our guile and all of our leadership and all of our wisdom to put together something that changes lives for the better and sets an example to the rest of the planet for how we can move to embrace the future intelligently. Thank you all very, very much.
Thank you, Secretary Kerry. We've come to the end of the session. Before I close, I want to extend my deep appreciation to President Tshisekedi for sharing your bold vision with us here today, and to invite global partners to work with Congo to defend Earth's largest lung. I'm also delighted to announce that with this ambition, the Democratic Republic of Congo and the Congo Basin will be joining the Trillion Trees Initiative. This was an initiative that was launched at the World Economic Forum 5 years ago. Today, we already have more than 85 global corporates working alongside governments to restore and conserve landscapes. And this includes governments in the US, China, India, Sahel region, Amazon. So welcome on board, Congo. For those of you who are here today and who are watching this online, I would like to invite you to join the Congolese people, led by the President of Congo, to translate this very exciting vision into reality. And we need the support of business, of philanthropic partners, of civil society to make this a reality. Thank you all for being here. Can I invite you?